Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a real-world project meeting to see how a company gets a critical, stalled technology project back on track. This is a story about big ambitions, a super frustrating roadblock, and luckily, a clear path forward.
All right, let's just dive right in with this quote. This single sentence, spoken in a meeting, really captures the core of a massive business problem. This isn't just about wanting something shiny and new. It's a genuine demand for modern, real-time information. You can feel the frustration with outdated reports holding the entire company back.
So the story starts with a classic scenario, one you might have even seen before. A company invests a lot of money in powerful, modern analytics software. But after one tiny first step, the whole project just grinds to a halt. It leaves that expensive new tech just sitting on a digital shelf, gathering dust.
Now, what's so interesting here is how this timeline just maps out the stall perfectly. They bought the right tools, for sure. They even got a small piece of it working for the sales team. But, and this is a big but, only through basic Excel emails. The real vision, the interactive dashboards for finance, HR, the whole company, it just stopped, leaving everyone else wondering when they'd get the modern tools they were promised.
So you have to ask, why the standstill? Why did everything just stop? Well, the root of the problem wasn't a lack of people or a tight budget. Nope. It was a fundamental and actually surprisingly common technical barrier.
On one side, you've got their core system, ECC. You can think of this as the engine that runs the entire business, day in and day out. And on the other side, you have the new goal, this modern analytics tool called SAC, which is designed to create these beautiful visual dashboards. The problem? They were basically built in different eras, speaking two completely different languages. They just couldn't talk to each other directly.
And the missing piece of the puzzle is this thing called middleware. Without this critical universal translator, all the data from that old system is completely locked away, totally inaccessible to the new analytics platform. The team learned this the hard way. There's just no direct link. This piece of software isn't a nice-to-have. It's absolutely mandatory to make the whole project work.
Now this technical gap, it wasn't just some headache for the IT department. Oh no. This created a very real, very painful business problem that people were feeling across the company every single day.
And here it is. This quote from the team just says it all. It shows you exactly how manual and, frankly, how inefficient their most important processes had become. I mean, forget automation. We're talking about key financial reporting being done by hand in spreadsheets.
And the ripple effect from that was just huge. You've got leadership trying to make decisions pretty much in the dark with no real-time data. The whole process of consolidating their finances was slow and just begging for errors. Talented people were wasting their days just copying and pasting. And maybe worst of all, huge business decisions were being made using old, static information, all while that powerful, expensive new software they'd already paid for was sitting there completely unused.
So, to even begin to find a solution, the team first had to get their arms around the true complexity of the system they were dealing with. And let me tell you, this was not a small, simple operation.
I mean, just look at this list. This company is running the whole shebang on one deeply interconnected system. Everything from manufacturing and production planning to HR and warehouse management. Every single one of these areas, from the project systems for their construction work all the way to the point of sale in their stores, was generating critical data that was completely trapped.
And as if that wasn't enough, this adds a whole other layer of complexity. They're operating across multiple countries, and each one has its own separate company, its own payroll system. All of that incredibly diverse financial data had to be pulled together, you guessed it, manually, in Excel. You can just imagine the headaches and the potential for error.
Okay, so faced with this massive, complicated web, you might think the team would be completely overwhelmed. But they weren't. Instead, they did something really smart. They created a clear, logical, step-by-step plan to finally get this project moving again.
And here's the plan they built. It's just so logical, you have to appreciate it. They agreed on a phased approach. First up, a big session to just understand everything they were currently doing. Next, bring in the CFO for a dedicated workshop to figure out the most critical finance dashboards. After that, separate meetings for sales and logistics. And finally, circle back to top management to confirm the final vision. It's methodical, and it makes sure everyone gets heard. So in the end, the ultimate goal was simple, but incredibly powerful. It was really about turning the lights back on. They wanted to finally unlock all that valuable data that was just sitting there, dormant in their systems, and give their leaders the real-time, visual insights they were promised from the very beginning.
And that really makes you wonder, doesn't it? This isn't just one company's story.
It's a challenge that so many organizations are facing right now. How much potential, how many game-changing insights are still locked away in manual reports, just waiting for the right connection to finally be made?